In this video, I will show you, yes, you, my beloved viewers, how to outsmart the game of business funding. Bootstrapping, not boot knocking. Don't get it twisted. Nobody's trying to knock on them boots. Bootstrapping, which is the simple practice of building a business without the need of external investors and with very little internal capital. How do you do it? You sell something. Don't click the back button as yet. Kill that urge that wants to trigger your need to go and find some type of distraction because you have some type of self-limiting belief that vocalizes and circulates in your brain telling you that you can't do it. I can't sell anything. I need money to make money. That, my friends, is what I call the enemy. And what is our objective? Kill the enemy, kill the enemy, kill the enemy, because that is what has stopped you. Just reflect on everything that you have not done due to these self-imposed limitations that you have let speak to you and say, listen, these are the reasons why you are not able to do it, why you can't sell your product or service. I sold my service of developing websites and marketing them before I even had all of the infrastructure and the resources to actually execute on that plan. You could do the same exact thing. Think about all of those watches and products that organizations pre-sell on crowdsourcing platforms such as Kickstarter and GoFundMe. They haven't even developed the product and they're already selling units. Time and time again, you find case studies. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Click the subscribe button and click the bell notification to stay on top of every cash and capital raising opportunity that I encounter. Go ahead and Google it. Now, if you want to talk more about that in depth beyond all the sauce that I'm dropping in this video, go ahead and book a call with me. The link is in the video description below, but you can sell whatever it is you need to sell. Like I've told you, you could sell used items on platforms such as eBay, Mercari, and other online marketplaces to raise a couple of bucks if you require it, just to get you beyond that point and bridge you through whatever difficulty that you are encountering so you can continue to operate in whatever stature of industry that you require to provide for your loved ones. You can put together a package, for instance, where you are developing websites and you hire people overseas or perhaps right here if you want to partner with somebody and tell them, listen, you know how to build websites? I don't. Nonetheless, I can reach out to the people. Now, here's a key thing. Many of you have found me due to the tens of millions of dollars that I have raised on this platform, helping people through the pandemic. Small businesses raise that capital through the PPP and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. Then I was able to help other people raise capital by applying for grants that I shared through my spreadsheet and other programs. What you may not know is I've also worked with 2 US presidents, AOL, the Nielsen Company, dozens of iconic brands, Forbes, Adweek, Billboard, and the list goes on and on and on. He went on. I kept on doing it. And I was able to build my web marketing practice with $0 in investment capital. I came out of my pockets a buck and change for my business registration, the LLC out in Florida. That's it. After that, I was in business. Of course, I started to make contacts prior to that. And those contacts, the reason that they actually hired me and I was in operation within a month's time, already clocking thousands of dollars, was because I had already showed traction with what I can operate. I knew how to operate the social platforms to drive traffic to magazines, sometimes for free. When I worked for Forbes, I drove millions of unique visitors to their magazines, to their articles. Then I got noticed by their executive editor because I drove traffic to his articles, and he was like, yo, let's meet. We met. I recommended that we meet. I think it was in Chopped. He was like, that's too cheap. We can do better than that. He invited me for some salmon. After that, I wrote an article. He helped me edit, clocked like $2,000 on an article that it took a week for me to complete. And again, I just kept on, again, selling my products and services. Now, how do you do that in the most effective way possible, as opposed to me picking up the phone on a regular basis, trying to actually find the people that will want my service? I established and positioned my business in a place online mainly where customers could find me. There are people that are regularly, actively, and intensively seeking a service just like the one that you provide. You simply have to put yourself in a position to be found. One of the ways that I did so was through the act of search engine optimization. So that is the practice of you including generic words that describe your service, describe your business on your website. And then Google, through its algorithm and documenting everything that it finds on the web, will have you in an index. Once someone performs a query, for instance, for tire repair near me, and you're close to them because you live in Indiana or wherever it is you live, and in such proximity where you're relevant to the person that performed that query, then you appear, they call you. That increases the chance that you actually close that person and make money as a result. There are all these technologies in place. Now, you can amplify whatever it is that you do organically, for instance. I post content here on YouTube. I also bootstrap this business from which I drew $30,000 in a week selling, sharing grant opportunities. I didn't sell you anything. I basically told you about grant opportunities. You applied for them. I got a cut. Now, I did that organically. I didn't pay for advertising to do that. That does not mean that you have to do the same thing. You can amplify whatever it is that you want to do through ads. And it does not have to be tens of thousands of dollars in advertising spend. You can feed an amount that you can afford, for instance, a couple of $100, maybe $10, $20, $1 a day. And you can start to see, is this money that I am deploying towards this platform, whether it's through Meta, which is formerly known as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, yada, yada, is it producing the result that I want? And that's why I told you to join me on that free trial that I was pushing not too long ago, and still am, because it is a key tool that I have had my clients adopt high level, where you can start to document all of the calls that you receive, and you start to track exactly where those calls are coming from. Where are the clients finding you online? Through a particular advertisement, through particular organic posting. So like that, you know where to deploy your payment or more of your investment in either time or money. So if you see that you are spending $10 on Facebook, and out of those $10 you make 100, it's a good idea to potentially spend 20 so you can make 200. And that's how you scale. That is the key. Now, if you put these tools in operation, you're able to see that. If you do not have these tools, if you simply post ads crazily, because I'm pretty sure I'll get viewers who have posted ads and say, oh no, it does not work. You're not tracking. You have to be able to track. There are pixels that allow you to not only track the conversions, in other words, the amount of people that you sell, and you're able to see exactly where those people found you, but you can actually have a pixel on your website that will identify the demographic and psychographic profile of your ideal client. And you can use that pixel to tell Meta, for instance, listen, I need to find me people just like the ones that have visited my website. Crazy powerful, because you're able to find people just like those people. Remember, we are more alike than we are different. It's all about the human race, not the black race, the white race. There are certain characteristics that we share due to our culture. I grew up with all kinds of people of all kinds of races. So, blacks, Hispanics, and also Hispanics is not even distinguishing myself as black in a lot of cases because Hispanics just simply identifying a group of nationalities. People don't even know that. Nonetheless, I share a number of characteristics. For instance, my family, they're not African American, but they're African Colombian. However, I gravitate and I attract African Americans because we have lived the same lifestyle. So if someone wanted to target someone like me, for instance, they drop a pixel on a website that I visit, they'll probably find a number of African Americans that do not share the exact same lineage, but share a number of practices in their culture, just like mine, because I grew up from Jamaica, Queens, New York, around the same people. You may also find that that lookalike audience comprises people of European descent. I am also part Spaniard and people of all races with lineages originating on all parts of this planet. We're also exposed to the environment, the remnants of the crack wars, what shaped hip hop culture into what it has evolved today in 2024, which shaped our culture and what made us who we are. And they'll be successful in creating a lookalike audience of people that are just like me, that have my same buying patterns, that probably like Biggie, understand, or everything else that I like. So you're able to better target those people and be more efficient in selling them whatever product, service, or solution that you have to offer. All of these technologies are in place. Now, if it gets too complex for you to install them and put them in operation to ensure that you are as efficient and profitable as possible, that's why book a call with me, strategy call. We can take that work off of your hands and ensure that regardless of whatever budget you want to put down in ensuring that you get your word out and build your business to the industry stature that you require so you can provide for your loved ones and all the people that our true and living Father has bestowed upon us to serve, then go ahead and book it. And I'll go ahead and ensure that you're going to hear some sauce. And I'm going to be taking these calls through the holidays. So go ahead. After that, I may be outsourcing it because I've got a team, but we are aiming to ensure that as many of you are able to access all of the funding you require to build out your business to as big and as iconic as you want to make it. Go ahead and Google my name. It's all public information. U.S. Department of Defense, U.S. Naval Research Laboratory. And I've been an instructor for the New York City Small Business Services across the nation. I have instructed thousands of marketers and millions, if you count the amount of people that I've reached online on how to build their businesses, how to do it, not only from one perspective, from the search engine optimization perspective, from the ad perspective, social media marketing. I even speak about this stuff when I speak to people on the street. So that's how you're able to broaden the circle of people from whom you are requesting money, because that's what happens. If you're applying for grants, you are limited to simply requesting money, asking for that sale from grant administrators and all these programs that are shared throughout YouTube, throughout wherever, right? But if you say, listen, I'm just going to sell my product, now whoever can use your product, these are the people that you can approach and tell them, listen, this is my idea. This is what I have set up. This is my prototype. I'm flipping it for X amount. You can launch a pre-order campaign if you don't have the product already set up. If it's a digital product, if you're an online coach, go ahead and package it. It's all words. Words shall become flesh. Again, I sold all this stuff before I even put it together, before I had people in place that could help me promote the content when people were beckoning me to promote their content online, their magazines and their products, etc. I didn't even have all the people together that I was going to hire to actually execute the work. So, but I sold it, got the money, and then I used that capital, my customers' capital, to go ahead and fund my operation. There's this saying, I'm not sure who originally said it, the rich make their money when they invest. That's because they first make the sale, then upon making the sale, that's when they come out of their pockets and use that paper, other people's money, OPM, to go ahead and purchase whatever investment that they can resell to their customers and thus make that profit and continue to build their businesses and grow them to as big as they want. As long as you remember and keep that adopted in your mindset, you will always be in a position where you can always get funded. And do not let any self limiting thoughts stop you just because you may think, oh, I can't do that. You've got sales skills. You've been doing sales for 20 years. That does not matter. I still have to continually learn and learn. And listen, I did not come into this world with any connections, without any inherited trust funds that would mature at the age of 35. None of that. I've been at zero. And from zero to 10K to 100K to millions, clocking right here online using every single resource, just like the book of Matthew reads. Take your talents and multiply them. That is the noble servant. And if you want to ensure that your motives are ultimately noble, as I have heard them because you've come to me time and time again, remove the limits from the people that you reach out to request paper. Understand? You already have an idea. Of course, you're not going to try to sell milk and eggs to a business owner if that person will not have any value off that, much less if that person is lactose intolerant like me. I'm not going to do anything with that dairy unless you go ahead and package it with some pan de bono. That's another story. But you have a better idea. You know, okay, listen, I have an agency platform that businesses can use. So you go ahead and reach out to people that operate small businesses. I went to the New York City Small Business Services Department and I became a certified instructor and I closed business as a result. I met with the executive body of a 32 location supermarket chain out in New York City. Most of them were Dominican. They didn't speak a lot of English. Nonetheless, they spoke English, but I was able to assimilate my brand personally and from a business perspective because I knew the culture. I've got cousins that are Dominican. My family's Colombian. I knew how to speak to them. I bought them Brugal. I bought them New York Yankees jerseys because Dominicans love baseball, right? And I delivered value. I gave them a step by step plan on how they can go ahead and execute their marketing and establish their presence in a more efficient manner to welcome more business. That's what you have to do. So there are various ways you could do it. Again, either organically or through ads. Now, once you start to welcome that capital, where else do you deploy it? Put it down on your credit because once you have your credit straight, you keep utilization ratio anywhere from 0 to 10% ideally. But even if you keep it under 30%, you can still rack up a 740 score, which will give you prime rates where you will qualify for the Chase credit cards where you get crazy cash back and travel perks. I've traveled for free to various parts of the planet, Colombia, mostly Latin America, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, gotten all kinds of perks. When I was in Chicago, and my wife had to be out there for an emergency because we had to get an operation on her for her skin infection. I'm coming out of my pockets $500 on a daily basis. A lot of it came from the perks because I had to employ it. We had to come out of our pockets almost $300,000. So listen, you put yourself in a position where you have that perimeter of financial protection with your credit. So you start to deploy that capital, you start to work down your balances again, down to the lowest utilization ratios as you can. Once you start to get these business cards, because your credit's so good that Chase is knocking down your door, waving in the 4-4 to ensure that you hop on one of those cards in your name. Now, these credit cards are those that you can run up. Now, you don't want to run them up with liabilities. In other words, with expenses such as, you're going out and getting clothes or whatever that's not producing, unless you're selling those clothes, of course, that's not producing a return on your investment. Remember, always multiply your talents. You're using them on investments, whether it's real estate, whether it's items that you are selling on eBay, that you're drop shipping, whatever it is that you're doing, you're aiming to invest them so you're able to take that capital, you go ahead and wipe off the profits and you pocket that, or you do whatever it is you need to do to live within your means and beyond your means. Because just like the prophet told the widow, once you collect all your oil, you will have enough money to live off of and to do what you need to do and to pay off your debts. And you go ahead and shovel it into those cards, into those revolving credit lines to ensure you clear out as much as possible. Now, also, I did it that way. I paid off all of my cards, all of my outstanding loans, and it got me to 780, the low 800s for a minute. And there are other ways, nonetheless, where you can dispute inaccuracies. So if there's a certain balance that's off, there's some punctuation wrong in your name, in your contact information, that may be grounds for you to dispute whatever inaccurate data that you have on your credit file. And those inaccurate data points, they'll take your score down. And if your score gets knocked down as a result, then banks may look at it as, listen, this is a person where if I lend them their money, my algorithm reads that it's very risky and I may lose it because of that score drop. Go ahead and dispute it. Get your credit score above 700, ideally into the 740s, where like that, the world is your oyster. They give you vehicles, all kinds of service. You've seen the skits where people get treated like nothing if they got bad credit, but if you got good credit at the dealership, they want to give you whatever car that you need to do. I've walked out with vehicles after a hurricane, no money out of pocket, with checks in my pocket as a result. Understand? Because of your credit. And once you start to generate sales as well, you can get loans that not only rely on your credit, but they also rely on your business as well and your business's sales performance. So you can get money to go ahead and get you out of a bind or whatever to pay off whatever it is you need to pay to continue your business in operation, to invest in the ads, to invest in the people that are editing your videos, to invest in the travel costs that it takes for you to collaborate with a channel on YouTube, for instance, that has more subscribers than you, but you want to collaborate because just like when you are opening for a bigger artist than you, for instance, let's say you're Biggie, right? Or actually, you're not Biggie, you're just MC Small Time, right? And you are opening up for Biggie as MC Small Time, you are exposed to Biggie's audience. So that's what happens when you collaborate with people. I also built a community online and was able to generate sales through my organization by what was called guest posting, which is just another word for collaborating. So you go to other websites and you contribute. That's what I did on Forbes, actually. But Forbes actually paid me. I didn't solely do it to link back to my website and get the benefits of search engine optimization because I'm showing a powerful link from Forbes.com. But I'm also doing it because I'm getting community. A proportion of the people that clicked on my links and visited my website would sign up for my newsletter. Upon signing up for my newsletter, which is a lead magnet, that's just another thing. See, there are too many components to putting together a funnel that I can describe on this video. Nonetheless, if you want to know more, go ahead, book a call. The link is right below. I've got the calendar wide through the holidays where, again, we talk about strategies. And for those of you who have not spoken to me, speak to the people with whom I have spoken from the community. I will get deep. I will spend as much time as required. Of course, if it's not conflicting with something else that I have to do to ensure that you get as many details as possible so you can cross every single T and dot every single I and achieve your objective as promptly as possible. Because getting rich slow, no way to do it. You never know when it could be your last day on this planet. The lady who took the red light last year, and perhaps she was texting because she told my wife that the phone flew out of her hand once she T-boned me, and I'm driving at like 5 miles an hour. She could have taken my life. It could have been done right there. That's it. So it's about building that bag so you can serve all of the people to whom you are assigned. That's all it's about. Now, again, here comes also the grant route. If you want to pursue grants, because a number of you are gung ho in terms of, listen, I need to get these grants. I need to get this free money. By the way, making sales is almost like free money as well if you structure it correctly. Because if you have people performing the work on your behalf, let's say building a website for a few $100, whereas you sell it for a few thousand. Let's say you sell, and this is coming from real examples. I've purchased websites, a buck 50, 200, $300, sold them for upwards of 5,000 to 10,000. I worked on $1 million website. I'm not even going to tell you. I don't even know the amount of profit. I didn't spend $100 on that one nonetheless, but you are simply putting the team together and you're taking that profit, right? So that's the best free money that you can go ahead and generate. Aside from the grants, because grants, yeah, they're free money because you're not paying for it. And some grant programs actually require a payment, such as the NACE program. Whereas if you're selling something, you may not require a payment to go ahead and generate that client unless you're paying for ads. And regardless of what, you're always paying with your time. Even if you're paying with ads, that's the most valuable asset. That's what you have to understand. So perhaps you put up content organically. I already told you how to do that. Go ahead and watch some of my videos. Look through the business funding videos in particular, and you'll see if you're broke video, and you'll see exactly how you can post content here on YouTube so you can start to attract the people that can actually benefit from whatever content offering that you have. It's about speaking, understand? Like I was getting to earlier, I speak to people on the street, and there is rarely an instance where I do not find problem that they are communicating to me that I can resolve via internet marketing, regardless of what. Someone's looking for a job. There was someone on the internet. I didn't do this myself. I actually got one of my most noted jobs that I report in my portfolio, the Nielsen Company, by marketing online. I did it basically posting up my portfolio on Indeed.com. I was cold emailing a number of job posts on Craigslist. I believe anywhere from 3 to 8 on a daily basis. And I was able to finally get a job offer after 3 months of posting. And it wasn't near the amount of money that I want, about 40 grand. Then I get an email coming from Indeed. I posted this ad several months prior, right? That's the power of internet marketing. And that's why you have to have a holistic view as to how you approach it. Where are you posting your content where you will find the most efficiencies, where you're finding the best conversions? Like if this was a process that I would like to repeat, I would track that I got that offer for $80,000 from Indeed.com, and I would continue to market on that platform so I can continue to generate those offers, perhaps for me or someone to whom I would refer to this hiring agency. That's what I'm talking about. You track it, and using these technologies, you're able to go ahead and track it. And on top of that, high level, they also have the voice AI that can take your calls while you're perhaps watching this video and you don't want to miss it because you know that it's key to your growth. Capture contact information and help you follow up by booking an appointment with the people that are trying to contact you. Voice AI, conversation AI, text backs. If you adopt these technologies and make them part of yourself, such as I have, to again, I perhaps digress a bit. When I talk to someone, there is rarely a problem that I don't see resolved using internet marketing. Again, there's a person online that advertised on a hiring manager's name. Let's say the person's called John Smith. The job seeker posted an ad bidding on the person's name. You can do that organically if you simply include that name in your website copy. Now, he did it through an ad, which is a lot quicker because you can post an ad today on Google and it could be up by tomorrow or perhaps even sooner, exposing your ad to the people that perform a query for the keyword on which you bid. So just to make that clear, whenever this hiring manager Googled himself, John Smith, I know the name was different. You can go ahead and Google it if you want to find out about it. He would see this person's ad. Are you looking for an elite graphic designer? And this person got a 6-figure job as a result. So there are rarely the problems that cannot be resolved using web marketing. If you want to know more about it, again, book it on the link in the video description below. Watch the video you see on the screen right now.